When we want to talk a little bit about 2024, and I know December is going to be a pivotal month, but what can we ask you about 2024? What do you guys want us to know about what's coming up? Because spiritual communities that talking about it being a big year, and we wanted to check in with you guys to ask the question.
2024 is a year that we are very excited about in the Galactic Federation. So, what you saw, some of the patterns that you saw within the collective, upon the spiritual collective of people awakening, is they were really going through the Messiah complex, where they still felt that separation, that they felt like they were here for this big, huge plan, that they felt like they had some kind of connection to people like Jesus and the different archetypes that have been created within the psyche, or that have been created within the human psyche. You saw a lot of spiritual people awakening with what we call the Messiah complex. And this is needed to bring your polarity back into balance. So if you have the conditioning your entire life that you've been conditioned with things like unworthiness and fear. And so when you step into your spiritual warrior and when you start to feel powerful, this is almost something that is needed for some people to help them bring the pendulum swing back to the center and find their balance. What you're going to start seeing in 2024 is people are going to finally bring this back into balance, and they're going to understand their place within the network. So they're really going to start understanding of, wait, I'm not here to awaken humanity all by myself. I don't have to play this huge role all by myself. Yes, a lot of you have beautiful connections to different beings around the universe. And yes, you are extremely old souls. But 2024 is really going to be about coming together in love and community and working within the network, understanding your role to play within the collective so that we can create a beautiful new earth together.
Now, I've often thought about this about when we go into the archetypes that are set up of what we're navigating, the construct, what we're navigating. And I think, well, are we really like, were we really volunteers here to come and help humanity? Or is that one of the structures that was created, like that we're playing a role in? Like, and I still have that question. It resonates and it feels like in all the messages we've got is that is the case. But I still am like a healthy skeptic in that I want to ask the question to you now that you're talking about the Messiah archetype. Is there a wave of volunteer archetype?
Yeah, absolutely. So look at it more as pre-written stories that were set up to have a collective experience. So when you feel like this whole thing is a play, just playing out, in a sense that is true because there are beings that have written a certain script for the collective to follow at this time. And so when you decide to come in to this life, you see your place among this script. You decide that this is the role that you want to play. So, yes, volunteers is a part of this script to help raise the consciousness of the construct that we're in.
So then what is the best thing that can help guide us for creating these messages and creating these channelings for what we need to, like, what is the best inflow with the divine of where we can be guided to?
It's just remaining open. So when you're at a lower level of consciousness and you're learning these things and and you're expanding your awareness, it's a beautiful thing to see yourself as a volunteer that came to help raise the consciousness of Earth. That makes you feel good inside. There's a reason why it was written into the script. But just remain open with yourself remain open and just always be willing to gain more knowledge, because knowledge and wisdom is what is going to keep ascending your consciousness in a healthy way. So that's why now you're able to raise above these scripts that have been created for the collective, and you become the playwriter, where you understand, you come back to self and you understand, this is my experience, this is what I'm going to create, and this is my part in the network that I'm in. And at each step, you're able to raise above these experiences and just see it from a different perspective.
Which I totally get and I appreciate. And I understand we're getting into the part of like teaching people how to create, of creation. But then why would the channelings that we've got in past channelings been of that we were the volunteers? Was that only, were they providing that information for us because that's what we needed to, that's the level of understanding we needed at that time? Or were we getting inaccurate information? Like, help us understand why we get different messages at different times in our lives.
Yeah, so it was not inaccurate at all. It was, you can only channel at the level of consciousness that you are at. And you can only understand the vibrational information of the consciousness that you're at. So those old channelings are so beautiful because they're going to help so many people that are at that level of consciousness that are interested in that information. But now you can also attract people of a higher consciousness that are also evolving with you, that are ready for the next tier of information. And this is why your information will always be evolving. So Ceirra's laughing because I just remember at the beginning of creating my YouTube channel, I was like, how am I going to create videos on spirituality? Like, how am I going to have enough content to keep creating videos every single day? And they're saying it's almost simple, because as you're learning more knowledge and you're willing to be the student in your life, as your consciousness raises, there's always going to be more information to learn, more information that you're going to understand, and with a higher level of understanding, and new ways that you can teach it to people. And that's the beautiful part of source and spirituality, is that we're always expanding and we're always finding new ways to experience different things.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. And I think this is a great thing for people to understand, and why it's important to have that connection with your team as well, because you can constantly check in and ask, like, what's the new information? And as far as this being volunteers, check in with your team and see what you're supposed to be on and what you're supposed to be doing during this time. That takes some of the weight of the heaviness of feeling responsibility for being, like you said, the savior, the Messiah, to be able to save everyone and realize, okay, maybe that is just an archetype of a story that we're fulfilling. And now it's like, what do I really want to see with my life? What do really want to see for my friends and family and what we're experiencing? And now being a part of creation. So I think it actually frees us more to understand this at this time.